Hello everyone, photographer Andredesignz here with a new YouTube video, and today we'll be talking about how to price your photography. So most of you have been asking me this question, and most of the times I really don't know what to tell you guys. Basically, I would tell you that, hey, charge what you feel comfortable charging. Why I tell you that? Because that's what most of the senior photographers usually tell me back in the days when I actually wanted to learn how to price my photography. There are a few things that you need to know before you start thinking about charging for photography. First, you need to learn how to use your camera. You must know the settings of your camera. You must know what shutter does, ISO, and aperture. If you do not know what those three things will do for your photos or what it do for your camera, it makes no sense you think about charging for photography. I would suggest that you go on YouTube and type in ISO, aperture, or shutter, and try to understand what they are and what they will do for your photo. When you learn how to use your camera, then that's the first step of creating your price list for photography. The next thing is that you should learn how to shoot natural light first before thinking about getting a flash to shoot strobe. Yeah, you need to learn how to shoot natural light. To be honest with you guys, I did not learn how to shoot natural light first. I actually learned how to do strobe before natural light. So you have to learn how to shoot natural light, because natural light is very important, and you will understand how to do certain things. Because to be honest with you, most time the flash is to just fill. I believe that the flash is to just fill dark areas. So it's best to learn how to use your camera without your flash first, and then you think about getting your flash after. The next thing that is very important as well is to create a portfolio. If you do not have a portfolio, there is no way you can be charging people for photography, because guess what? They're going to want to see what photos are, how creative the quality of your work is. So you're going to need a portfolio. How to create a portfolio is pretty easy. I'm sure you have friends and family. You can take photos of them, and with them you can actually practice how to use your camera settings as well. So you can create a portfolio by using 500px. You can use Instagram, because that's the most popular one, and you can also use a Facebook page. You don't necessarily have to have a website at this point. Seeing that you're not making any money right now, I don't think a website is a smart move. So you can start with the free social media platform. You have to be creative with your photography. You can go on YouTube, watch some tutorials on how to be creative in your photography. Go on Instagram and search for other photographers and look how they shoot, and be creative, because creativity is what's going to make you stand out. And when people contact you for a job and you show them your portfolio, if you tell them that, hey, I charge $500 for 1 hour, they're going to pay it because your portfolio look creative. So that's very important. The other important thing, and one of the most important things after learning how to use your camera settings, is editing. There are a lot of videos on YouTube that teaches you how to edit your photos. I do retouch videos as well. Editing is the most important thing. One of the most, I think editing is 80% or 90% of the whole photography thing, I think. My opinion. But most of your work is going to be in editing, because you can take a flat photo and it just looks normal, and then when you edit it, it looks beautiful. It looks way different than what you had in the camera. So editing is one of the most important things as well. So you have to think about that. You should not think about the most expensive camera, because the most expensive camera will not make your photography better. Clients will not book you because you have an expensive camera. What I would suggest that you do, get a camera that you can afford and ensure that you have a 50mm or a 35mm lens, prime lenses, because those lenses are really sharp. So you want to think about getting those lenses, and they're not expensive, so you can start there. I know a lot of professional photographers right now are using like a D5100 Nikon, or even the Rebel XT Canon camera, and they're using like a 35mm or a 50mm or a 85mm. Those lenses are good. You don't necessarily need to have an expensive camera, expensive lens to get awesome photos. You can also watch this video right here that will show you that, hey, you can use a Nikon 3400 camera with a 50mm lens or 85mm lens to get awesome natural light photos. You just have to learn how to edit and learn your settings, and you should be good. How do you charge for photography? So let me just share with you guys how I usually do it in the past, because back then I did not know, how to do pricing, so I just created my own thing. So for $45, that would be like $4,500 Jamaican. What I normally do is to say, hey, I'm gonna give you 6 edited photos and then give you the unedited photos on a CD or a DVD. So that's how I usually do it in the past. I still do not know what most photographers actually charge, but that's what I usually charge back then. Then I went on YouTube and I did some search, and I found out that most of the international photographers, they charge per hour, and they charge around about the same amount of photos or maybe a little bit more, and it's actually more than what I was actually charging. But I didn't feel a way or think that I need to raise my prices. Why? Because what they were actually producing compared to what I usually provide clients with is way better in terms of quality, how the clients pose, the time of day that they shoot, and every single thing was actually different. So I know to myself that, hey, you know what, I'm not going to rush to charge a lot of money for photography, because I know that, if you're going to charge a certain amount of money, you have to have a certain look, you have to have a certain quality, and you have to have a portfolio that stands out. So I actually charged that amount for a long time, maybe about a year. And then when I realized that I started to get a lot of people booking me for jobs, I pushed it up a little bit more, and I went back to YouTube, watched more videos, and I realized that most professional photographers do not provide raw images. So I stopped providing raw images, and I just provide I provided more than 5 images, and I think I went up to like 8, and I charged I think like $7,000 for 8 photos. And then at one point I start charging per photo, because I realized that most of my clients were asking, how much I charge for 2 photos or 3 and 5. And then at one point I realized that, hey, it makes no sense. I'm gonna go to do a photo shoot for 2 and 3 photos for 2 hours. That makes no sense, and they're not getting the raw files, so why am I doing that? So I then sit again and I think about it, and I say, hey, you know what, I'm going to provide clients with 10 photos, and I'm going to charge them like maybe $10,000 for that amount, and I'm going to shoot for like 1 hour. And I did that, it worked. And then I said, hey, you know what, I want more money. So I sat down again and I think about it. I mean, I changed my prices so many times, and the quantity of photos that they, people will be getting so many times, until I am at a amount that I'm comfortable with right now. So right now what I'm providing is 15 photos, and I charge like $180 for 15 photos with editing, and that's like a 45 minutes to an hour. Most photographers would not actually tell you how much they charge for their photography, but I'm not scared to tell anyone that I charge that amount, because it works for me, and the most other photographers are charging way more than $180, and it doesn't affect me at all. Yeah, I mean, that works for me. So you have to just come up with your own pricing, and if that works for you, you do that. You cannot use my price to price your photography, because my work and your work are different. So you should try to come up with your own prices. I give you my prices, my price for photography, for photo shoots, and for like weddings. My smallest package for wedding is, I don't even remember, but the biggest package I have for wedding is $1,200, and that's for 7 hours. So it all depends on what you're comfortable with charging for your services. But at one point it's not going to be at that level. When you realize that you have evolved, your creativity is larger than what it was before, you're going to charge more money and people are going to pay. Because right now I don't really have any client that complains about what I charge, and I'm still going to upgrade my prices again to a larger price, a larger package. So it all depends on what you want to charge, and you cannot really look at what other photographers are charging and charge based on that. You have to base your charging or your price based on your creativity and what you think your time is worth. So I hope this video actually helped someone. So thank you guys for watching and have a good one. Bye bye.